Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name is Brian and welcome back to our NDSU Dynasty series here inside of College Football 27. Today it's episode number 5 already, which is pretty crazy that we're already this many episodes in, but we have a bit of a dilemma. And if you've seen the last few episodes, you would know what that dilemma is, or at least the last couple of episodes, so we are currently 1-5 on the regular season. And if you saw last episode, you would know that we are now on a 4-game losing streak. And not only are we on a 4-game losing streak, but we are also on a 3-game losing streak in the Mountain West. We had a crushing, two crushing defeats. I guess one crushing defeat in conference last time, followed by a heartbreaking overtime loss to UNLV after playing very, very competitively against them, after getting our backs blown out basically by the Wyoming Cowboys. So yeah, unfortunately, it's not looking very good. Thankfully, however, in these games, our players, honestly, stat-wise, haven't been too terrible. Well, I guess this is not a good example. Preston Brown, I did finally put him in one of these games as the starter. I think I put him in the Wyoming game, which was really a mistake on my part because, as you can see, he didn't play very well. 1 interception, 82 yards, took 3 sacks. Had a 33% completion percentage. It just wasn't good. And then when looking at the UNLV game that went to overtime, Preston Brown played a little better. He didn't throw it. He didn't have a turnover. In fact, we didn't have, I think, a single turnover in this game, if I remember correctly. We did take 6 sacks though, which isn't great. His completion percentage was way better. In terms of our DJ Scott had an amazing game. 93 yards on the ground after 23 carries, and 2 rushing touchdowns. I guess we did fumble at one point with Preston Brown, but we did recover it, I'm pretty sure. And then our receiving honestly wasn't that bad. Mekhi Collins had 8 catches for 79 yards. We got the ball spreading out pretty good. And then looking at our defense, we didn't have a single sack in this game against UNLV. We had a few pass deflections. We were able to get those. But really, that's kind of about it. So with that all being said, it's obviously not going very well for us at the moment in this season, and I kind of just want to take this episode and maybe a little bit of next one, but for sure this episode, to kind of just wrap up this regular season and kind of get to the off season, and then next time we'll hopefully be in the off season with the transfer portal and all that. And I'm kind of thinking about live streaming that potentially. So make sure to be on the lookout for that if that is what I choose to do. But yeah, I guess the first thing I will do here to start the episode then will be to advance to the next week to see if we have anything happen positively in the recruiting side of things. So taking a quick peek once again at the recruiting board, nothing really changed much except for a couple guys went to their top 3. We're potentially about to lose Dwayne Breida to Arkansas State, and he's been a gem running back. We've been scouting since since day 1, basically. I actually finally, off camera, I went and actually offered him some NIL because he was actually expecting 0. And I'm almost wondering if Arkansas State kind of offered him a little bit more, which is why he hasn't even, we're still number 2 in terms of influence for him. Looks like we do, however, seem to have a couple of players that have reached their top 5 finally, one of those guys being Marco Jones. So I'm going to make sure to hard sell him here. Sadly, 2 of those grades we have, it looks like they're Fs. His playing time is A+, but 2 F grades in pro potential and in playing style. I'm hoping that doesn't really impact us. He is from Minneapolis, and we are only fighting with NIU at the moment, Northern Illinois University. So hopefully that'll allow us to, if we need to offer him some NIL, we can, but right at the moment, he's not expecting any. So the more NIL we can save, the better. Going to also offer a scholarship here to Lewis Stamer, a Mike single collar linebacker. We don't have any info on him at the moment, but at least I figured offering a scholarship to him would probably be a good idea. We are nowhere near his board though, so I'm probably actually going to offer him some NIL as well, just in case he hasn't heard of us. And we're basically telling him, hey, we want you to come here to NDSU in case you haven't heard of us before. So the next game that we get to play in this Dynasty season is against Nevada. I believe they're the Wolfpack. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to jump into this game. I don't know if we're going to watch all of it because I kind of want, again, like I said or in the beginning of the episode, I want to get through the rest of this season. And then we can hopefully, by a next episode, move on to the off season and potentially do it live. Just because I know the off season has a lot of exciting things. And because we're not going to potentially be fighting for a bowl game necessarily, we will be able to see the transfer portal and maybe even get a chance to get some new guys on our team that'll hopefully be able to help us out in the near future. So the first action we're going to see today against Nevada is going to be late in the first quarter after a huge run that we just missed from DJ Scott, 32-yard scramble. And I'm now going to hop in here again. If you're new here, I'm going to watch these games mostly in slow sim, except for some moments that'll be in the faster sim, like I was just there a second ago. But I feel like this is a good moment for us to hop in the game. We are currently down 3-0. But we'll see what happens here as Scott gets the carry to the outside. But I'm planning on doing this type of thing, at least for the next few games. Hopefully all in this episode as we try and wrap up the season. As you get a toss out there at the tight end, Jeremiah Hayes, who gets a few yards, bringing up third down. Taking himself, Preston Brown, but he's going to go nowhere. Stopped in the backfield, and that'll be a punt. So pretty tight game early on here, and that's kind of been the theme of these games for us, is that punt is actually pretty good. It's all the way down to the 15. And it looks like, sadly, we're going to miss a field goal on our next drive after the Wolfpack goes 3 and out. So still a 3-0 game with not a whole lot of progress being made. Gonna now hop in here on defense, midway through the second, or partway through the second at least. On a third and very long, quarterback takes the snap, throws complete, and is stopped at about the 32. AJ Blanco getting the pass there as he's the Wolfpack's quarterback. He now has 1,000 yards in the season, so if there's anything our defense has been successful in, been allowing quarterbacks to hit 1,000 yards in the regular season, and they will be punting this one away to us. So we'll see how this goes as they're going to try and pin us deep, and they will inside the 10 at the 9. So our back's against the end zone here as Scott gets the carry and gets a loss of 1. Already has 77 yards on the day, so if there's any bright spots on this team so far, DJ Scott is one of them. It's Preston Brown still in at quarterback. He's gonna take off, and that's one reason I kind of put him in as the starting role. Is he is an excellent scrambler when he's not being attacked from behind or whatever. So another handoff to Scott, and he'll be stuffed. Single back in the backfield. It's Scott gonna get the carry, get the lead block upfield, and gonna be stopped at about the 30-yard line. 1 yard short of the marker. Gonna go a little more empty set here, and Brown gonna take off. Brown's got space, trying to navigate his way through the defense, and he does, crossing midfield just on the inside of Wolfpack territory. Now he's gonna look to throw, and he's gonna throw across, and there's gonna be a flag down as well as an incomplete pass. Let's see who this is on. And they're going to call a pass interference, so an automatic first down. Wolfpack getting a little handsy there. Second and long here, 3.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Scott throws, and it's incomplete as he's looking downfield for, I believe that's Jackson Williams, the junior wide receiver, the true junior wide receiver. Here goes Brown again to throw, and oh, what an almost crazy catch made by the tight end, Reese Kessel. But we'll be punting this away, unfortunately. Trying to pin these guys deep. And we do. Just outside the 2-minute warning now here in this first half. The Wolfpack got out of their own end zone. And they're going to toss it down. We're going to make the tackle at the 32. And that'll bring us to the 2-minute timeout. Still anyone's game here in the Fargo Dome. right before the end of the first half. Here goes a bubble screen, and that's going to be taken down by one of our defenders. I can't quite exactly see. I couldn't see who it was exactly. Gonna take the snap now. It's pressured up the middle. Gonna take off. Blanco is running, and he holds onto the ball, but he is tackled at the 47. Defense trying to show some pressure here. Blanco looking, throws down the field, and he is met by DJ Volts, our #1 cornerback on the roster. Another pass. And he's finally taken down. It's Noah Taylor. With the sack, the Sam linebacker, the junior red shirt, making a play. Blanco again looking to throw. Getting pressure at the middle, and he's finally tackled by... he's met at least by Keenan Wilson, as well as another one of our D linemen, and that'll force them to punt the ball back to us. As we still have a shot to get some points here, and that's going to go in the back of the end zone. Time to see now if we have what it takes to get ourselves back in this game. We're going to shift around the line, it looks like. And we're going to keep it himself. That was probably the worst play call you probably could have done in that moment. As we have all 3 timeouts still, so we're still in line to get some points here if we just play this smart. Here goes Brown again. Using his legs down the middle of the field. Wide open. It's caught in the middle of the field. That's Jacob Kilzer, as he's been one of our top targets here in this dynasty so far. Motion Kessel out to the side there. Looking for him. Going to throw in the middle of the field. That's caught by Mackay Collins, the guy that made a ton of plays for us in last week's game against the Rebels. And now Brown's going to try and look down the field before he gets pressured, and thankfully he throws it away. But now it's 3rd down. And with only 25 seconds left, you might as well call 4 verticals. And try and get as much yards as you can. Or a Hail Mary throw. And he's going to just run away. And he gets hit, but he does get it out. So unfortunately, I think we're going to go into the half with 0 points. Well, and just like that, we're back here in the 3rd quarter, 8:37 on the clock. And still a 3-0 game. Had a couple 3-and-outs to start the half. So I feel like we're making progress a little bit. But then again, this Nevada team is almost as bad as we are, record-wise. And they are also winless in the conference so far. So here goes a pass over the middle, and that's incomplete. Looking for Jackson Williams here, excuse me. As we're going to attempt our first field goal, or second field goal rather, of the day, and it's going to be good. So Klein makes up for his missed field goal earlier in the game, and we now have it all tied up at 3 apiece. And now a couple drives later, we get a 27-yard catch and a 36-yard rushing touchdown for DJ Scott. And that means we are now up by 7 as the Wolfpack struggle to respond on offense, as we've been basically kind of keeping them out of the end zone. And would you look at that, right after Nevada gets the ball back after they tie it up, Jalen Crumby, our free safety, gets in for the interception, and now we have the ball in a very good spot, I feel like. Yep, just on the other side of midfield. So we'll drop in here now in the 4th quarter and try and take the lead in this game once again here. Here's Scott up the middle. And an injury timeout. Unfortunately, it does look like it is for Scott. He did get up on his own. So I think we'll now be seeing Miles Mitchell in the backfield, number 5, as he gets his first carry of the game. And tries to spin out of those tackles, and all of a sudden it's a 3rd and 8. And I really don't want to not take advantage of this excellent field position after the turnover. So here goes Brown, trying to weave his way through defenders, and he almost gets through. But we're going to try another long field goal attempt here. About 46 yards, I believe. And it's going to be no good. He missed it wide to the right. And it doesn't seem like that missed kick is really going to matter a whole lot, as Jacob Kilzer now gets us a 20-yard reception. And Preston Brown's also going to try and help us. We now have it 1st and goal. Just under 2 minutes, and another 3-yard rush by GJ Scott, who came back into the game. So we're now at the goal line here, our best scoring chance that we could ever have. And here it goes. Scott up in the end zone. Touchdown. I couldn't almost speak for a second. And now we have to have our defense hold. We've been in this situation before. And now the defense just needs to come out and do their job. So after a fair catch called by the Wolfpack, can our defense hold them back here as a pass goes down the field? AJ Blanco once again throwing to his receivers, trying to get down the field. Blanco gonna go hurry up, gonna be blitzed, gonna avoid the pressure, and gonna finally get the ball thrown away after he almost got hit by a couple of our defenders. Blanco again to drop back, looking, throws down the field, and it's knocked away. Almost could have been caught on the way down. And that'll set up a final play with 1:21 left on the clock. Here goes Blanco again, getting pressured, avoiding the pressure, throws down the field, wide open, and it's knocked away. Knocked away, incomplete. I think that was either, that might have been by Jalen Tate. I couldn't exactly see who that was. But Scott will get the carry, and that might have just about sealed this one. And just like that, despite our 4-game losing streak, we have come back and beat the Nevada Wolfpack, securing not only our first FBS win of the season, or of the Dynasty, but also our first conference win in the Mountain West. After what looked like a very bleak reality, we might have an actual shot, potentially, or at least we might have a bright future. Well, I gotta say, that's not exactly how I thought that game would go, based on our recent track record, but I was always hopeful. But looking at the stats here, we only took 1 sack. Not crazy overall stats, actually from Preston Brown. Only about 130 yards passing, 83.3 rating, which is actually pretty low, especially in college. 40% completion percentage, really got to work on that, especially moving forward. But all in all, DJ Scott had probably the game of his career so far, at least in the FBS level. 144 yards, 21 carries. I really, really hope if he doesn't go to the draft, he at least wants to stick around. What's his deal breaker? Playing time. Okay, he probably will stick around as long as we have enough NIL to offer him at the end of the year. Defense was actually pretty good during this game. Noah Taylor getting 3 sacks. And Zach Vanderpool also getting a sack in there as well. And we got an interception right at the end, or obviously earlier in the game by Jalen Crumby. So now looking briefly once again at the recruiting, we can see we are now in a couple of recruiting battles, one of them being for Dwayne Breida with Arkansas State. And I'm not exactly sure what we have to offer necessarily, but I guess we'll probably just send them a DM. Just because we probably can. We maybe could even offer him a little more NIL, as we're only offering him 5, and we still have 505 remaining, so we obviously don't want to spend all of it, but I feel like if we offered him a little bit more, he might want to come here. But I think we're going to try the influence first, just because he's really close to committing to one of our schools, so we'll offer him a little bit more NIL. Well, let's see. What is his ratings looking like? Yeah, I think those ratings definitely suffice or justify an increase in NIL offering. I'm going to go ahead and shift our sway pitch to Eric Turner, our only 3-star, one of our only 3 stars on our board. And we're going to switch it to a soft sell because we now can make him we made him a conference legend as his ideal pitch. So now we can hopefully get a little bit more influence on him to hopefully make him commit a little faster. He is now granted the only we are the only school offering on him. So there's regardless a very good chance we will land him. But I mean, adding a little bit more influence will definitely help in that respect. Cortez Veal still not offering anything NIL wise, but he is our only offer or we are his only offer as well. Rayshawn Savage is the other recruiting battle we have. I think he visited us during this week, and he did, attending practice, and he liked it. So much so that he is, having to decide between us and Western Michigan. And then one of the last things I'll do for this portion of the recruiting will be, at least on camera, will be putting a soft sell pitch, the clutch on Marquise Bredesen, an edge rusher from Portage, Michigan, who is looking really, really likely he's going to potentially go to Tulsa. But we're going to try and steal him from them if we can. Now, unfortunately, our next game here isn't going to be nearly as easy as the last one, as we're taking on the New Mexico Lobos. And if I saw correctly, their record is about the exact opposite of our record, as I believe they are 5-1 on the season, and I think they even have a positive record in the conference as well. Ooh, look at that. We get an unnecessary roughness penalty early on in our first drive as we were at 4th and inches. And now it's looking like we're going to be knocking on the door almost right away. So we'll hop in on defense here now at about the end of the first quarter. We just got a huge sack by Kelton McClaslin, and that's going to be a huge pass wide open. And that's probably going to be... Oh, it's going to be a huge pass. I thought it was going to be completed. That was going to say, that was probably the worst time to pop in here. Right as we get burnt by Zaleel Smith. Well, that was a quick turnaround, but let's see what our defense has in store next here as the running back gets the ball. And he's going to spin around in circles, and we're just going to drag him into the end zone. Oh, man, what are we doing? All right, now we're here in about towards the end of the second. And down by about 8 points here. So let's see if Scott can get up the middle. He really can't. He's already at 73 yards. He's really having not a bad season, all things considered. I mean, we might be 2-5 and struggling to score points here on offense, but DJ Scott has definitely so far been the highlight of this game as we now hit the 2-minute timeout in this game. But yeah, very excited to see how he does the rest of this year, and hopefully next year if we can keep him. As Preston Brown, what a nice run, finding his way through the defense and getting a first down. Minute 44 left to play here. Brown looking. Brown fires, and it's almost caught. Trying to find Reese Kessel on that in route there, and the defender almost got it as well, so that would have been close. Here goes Brown again, finding the tight window, and that's going to be dropped. Unfortunately, looking for, I think that was Jackson Williams. Again, the throw. Brown looking. Shakes off a tackle. He's got a blocker downfield. And he's finally slides at about the 14. Brown drops back again. Feeling the pressure. Throws the corner of the end zone. It's almost caught by Reese Kessel again. Brown seems to love his tight ends here as he throws to him again. This time it is caught. And 44 seconds left. You got to try and hurry up a little bit as I'll go timeout here. Gosh, man, this would be such a good opportunity here for us if we can get a score here. Brown throws, middle of the field, wide open. There's a flag down, though. And I think it's going to be another one on the defense. I think they got to the quarterback a little late. And they did. So the roughing call puts us at the 2. See if Scott can get in the backfield. If not, he will not. He's trying something a little bit different here. More of a shotgun set here as there goes Preston Brown being, a heavy, did not pick up the blitz. And he was sacked almost instantly as the offensive line didn't know what hit him. Now all of a sudden we're 3rd and goal here at the 13. No more timeouts. Brown again looking. Runs out of it. Looking, and finally taken down again. Another sack by Jackson Eck, the same linebacker that got us in the last play. And we're going to probably not be able to kick a field goal here as time, I think, will expire. Alrighty, everybody. We're now in the 4th quarter of our second game of this video of the Dynasty here as Scott takes it up the middle and he gets the first down. It was 3rd and inches at the end of the 3rd, and I just figured to hop in at the 4th just to kind of make things, go a little move along a little faster. Goes Brown, throws it out to Williams. Scott now in the backfield, and we got a 3 tight end look on the side there. And I'm going to throw it out to Scott, and he's unfortunately not going to be able to reel it in. New Mexico defense is definitely what's keeping them in this game, but it's also what's kind of keeping them out of the game as well. And some, at least early on it was, with all those penalties. Kessel in motion, and then Brown throws, completes to Williams, or Makai Collins, excuse me. 24-6 is the score here, 9:30 left to go in the game. Here goes Scott on the outside, tries to get to the outside. Doesn't quite do it. Come on, Preston, let's try and lead a comeback drive here. With the blitz, there you go, get it outside. Scott up the sideline. 3rd down. Scott, I can tell, is tired in the backfield there. And unblocked. And he gets hit and he has to just throw it down. I'm not sure exactly where that was, but we're going to try a long field goal here for Klein. Drew Klein's kick is up, and it's actually good. Wow. That had to have been, I think, about a 50-yarder. See if the defense can now hold their own here on this next drive for the Lobos. And that's a good start there. It's a very good start. And here goes another play here by quarterback. Throws it outside. Jack Lane, the quarterback for the Lobos here. Here he goes again, back to throw. Throws it outside again to the receiver, this time in the bubble screen. And we're there, right there to stop him. And that'll force him to have another 3 and out. All right, boys, let's try and get one here. Almost an interception. Speaking of which, it's Jackson Williams, and he's got wheels. Gets himself inside the 15 for a huge gain. Very wide set here on offense. Throws corner of the end zone, and it's dropped. Yeah, dropped. Almost intercepted. That would have been a very ugly interception. Okay, we got 4 verts. Empty set. Nope, we're going to motion to a single back or shotgun. Throws upfield. Corner of the end zone. It's knocked away. Looking for DJ Scott on the wheel route. Come on, offense. Let's go. Here we go. Looking. Brown just takes off himself. Use those legs. And he does, but he doesn't quite reach the end zone. And he's a little slow to get up. But Trey Drake is now in the game. Our 3rd quarterback. After Preston Brown got injured there, and Scott is just short, down to the 1. Yeah, Nathan Hayes is not in the game. I moved him to our 3rd quarterback on the depth chart. So technically, I guess Trey Drake was our 2nd string prior to the Preston Brown injury, and Scott is met right away. And we're gonna go for it, obviously, as we want a chance to stay in this game here. Scott in the backfield. Takes it outside, takes it upfield, and we're short. No, they call it a touchdown. Gosh, I really hope he's not short of the line to gain, because that would be so depressing. But DJ Scott runs another one into the end zone. And I really, like I said, I really hope they call that good here. And they do. They choose not to review it. And we're going to have the extra point here now from Klein, and he gets it good. It is now a 1-score game. All right, just under 4 minutes left to play in this ball game. Gonna give it to the running back, and he's going to be met right away by Peter Hugo, our strong side linebacker, number 41. Here goes another. The blitz is coming, and it gets there. Not really, but he's stopped. And that'll be a punt. Here's Preston Brown has come back into the game now after his brief little injury there. Gonna roll out, gonna do a screen pass, and that did not work out in our favor. Screen passes are really a little different in this game than they have been in past games, and they're a lot more realistic, but they're also a lot tougher to get off in time. At least I noticed that when I've actually been playing the game. So I don't use them as much as I used to. All right, we got a 3rd down now. And Brown going to drop back, going to sense the pressure, going to toss up field, and that's going to be short. Jackson Eck getting all over the place today. He has his 8th tackle. And we're now going to go wide and a run up the middle. It's Scott, and he's got it. First down, minute 27 left to go. He just crossed 100 yards for the 2nd straight game. Preston Brown dropping back again. Throws complete to Jackson Williams. As we're going to go no huddle to try and get some more time here, allow for more time. We're only down by 8. So a touchdown and a 2-point conversion will do it to tie up the game. And that was going to be intercepted and picked off by guess who? The man that's been terrorizing us all game. And I'm not exactly sure what he was trying to throw to. I think he was trying to throw to... Might have been Mekhi Collins or Jacob Kilser on the underneath. But Jackson Eck, number 6, will seal the game for us. Yeah, he's trying to find Mekhi Collins on that play. So once again, unfortunately, we'll come up just short in our conference games. Scottery Humphrey, I said the name wrong. We also had 100 yards on the day as well. But yeah, playing on the road is definitely not our strong suit. But the fact that we were a couple plays away and one bad mistake away from potentially winning this game or even tying it up, I think that's a lot to show, or that tells you a lot about this team and their willingness to stay competitive. So unfortunately, as a result of that game not going in our favor, we have lost the recruiting battle for Dwayne Breida, who is now hard committed to Arkansas State. So we will lose out on a very promising gem running back to potentially replace DJ Scott or Miles Mitchell if they decide to leave after this year. We also lose the recruiting battle on Rashawn Savage as well. So Will linebacker is going to leave us as well. But not to fret, as we have still a couple guys here that are interested in coming to us no matter how many games we win, it seems like. One thing I will say is that despite the fact that we did lose a couple of major recruits we were hoping to get, it does open the door for us to get some of these other guys that have interest in us, and we're not losing any interest or aren't losing any interest in us, and it allows us to recruit them a little bit harder, so that way we can actually, potentially try and land them probably sometime in the near future. I'm gonna give an offer here to Josh Coley, a wide receiver that's from Gardena, California. He's 6'4", 191 pounds. Not the fastest in the world, but certainly not the slowest. Oh wow, it even looks like Marcel Hilbert decided to verbally commit to Temple. So not sure how much we're going to be able to do for him. I might try and increase NIL on him. It looks like I can only offer 10. So we'll offer him 10 NIL. He doesn't want to come to us, and he hard commits to Temple anyways. It's not that big of a deal. I just figured it kind of would have been nice to have him, as he is decent for his recruiting status. So his 2-star status. But he is a junior college transfer, so he's already a sophomore, which basically just means that he has less time to develop. If we were to somehow land him in the very end. So now looking briefly at the remainder of our schedule, I know we're only about partway through the video, but we obviously are 2-6 and 1-4 in the conference, so we're not going to be competing for the conference title game by any means, but we're also, I think, still not quite in it for a bowl game. Let's see, we have a game now against UTEP, a bye week, and then we got 3 games after that, so we could go 6-6 theoretically, and we could potentially make a bowl game then, but we'd have to win out completely, and I'm not exactly sure if that's going to be exactly possible at this point, because we obviously did win against Nevada, but we barely beat them 17-10, and we also barely lost, only by 8 to New Mexico, who's obviously a much better school, but unfortunately it's kind of unknown how good the rest of this conference is. As you can see, all these other schools have losing records, but who knows how much that'll change by the time we get to play them. I think we're at least going to play this game against UTEP We'll see how it goes. And then if we need to play or skip a few more games, we'll do that. I might even just sim a couple of them, just so that next episode we can get to the off season and the transfer portal, and we can start to really, really rebuild this team. And hopefully not start from more of ground zero than we already are, but yeah, we'll just have to see. So it looks like we're going to score early here in this game. Preston Brown taking it in himself for about 30 yards out. And that's honestly good, because I was kind of concerned that, again, this team we're facing has a winning record. So I'm not exactly sure or as familiar with them just as a whole, because the Mountain West is a very new conference for me personally, so not exactly as familiar with how this team plays. Oh, and now Jackson Williams wants to get in on the action with an 18-yard score after a failed field goal earlier from Drew Klein. We are now up by 2 scores. And we also get a fumble recovery by Keith Williams, one of our weak side linebackers, or will linebackers. And I think we're going to hop in right here. Hopping on offense again. We got the all greens versus the all whites uniform combination. So I just figured I would do that because they were coming in and they're all whites. And now Brown's going to look to throw. And sure enough, first play I look in, he takes a sack from Elijah Fields. I was kind of hoping when I hopped into this game to watch our team play, they would, kind of start to show me a little bit more promise than they have been the last few weeks, or a lot more scoring action instead of taking sacks. And Preston Brown, that's a fumble. And unfortunately, they're going to recover it as well. That couldn't have gone any worse. Oh my goodness. All right, now let's see how our defense does, I guess, since our offense doesn't want to ever watch me watch them play the game. Throws corner of the end zone, or corner of the field, and that's going to be caught. E.J. Colson being the quarterback for the Miners here, and that'll be a timeout taken as well. I think we took that timeout, which I'm not sure why, because we're up by 14, so I don't know why we necessarily need to be taking timeouts here, unless it's just to kind of throw off the offense on the field. And that's a nice wrap-up tackle made there. I think that might have been by Mr. Not exactly sure who was by. Here goes a run up the middle, and that's going to be a first down as well. Tavares Jones getting in on the action. All right, defense. Let's try and hold them here in the red zone, and that's not great. It's about, I think it was 6 yards or so, down to the 2. Red zone isn't really our strong suit here. His quarterback throws and overthrows his man. I thought he had someone wide open for sure, but he must not have, because he overthrew him. Trying to hold strong here. Running back up the middle of the field. He's stuffed. And 94, that's going to be our man, Logan Larson, going to make that stop. And they are going to go for it. So they are not going to go for, I was about to say, are they going to go for a field goal or not? They are not. They're going to try it here. Looking, throws, tipped at the line, and incomplete. And we're going to take over on downs. Well, sadly, we are in our own end zone. So I really hope this goes well. Scott gets out of the end zone at least. That's a good sign. See, Preston Brown, I need you to make a play here. Here goes Scott. He'll make a play. And he does, up down to the 8-yard line. 3rd and short. As we go shotgun formation again. Got 2 receivers up top. And Scott going to try and get the outside. Why do you call that play right there? That's what I don't understand. We may or may not have to change offensive coordinators after this year if their contracts aren't up, because several of these plays I just haven't enjoyed that they've called, especially in certain situations like that. And so that was a good tackle made there, but yeah, overall, I think we might need a staff overhaul after this year. Fake the handoff. Gonna take it himself up the middle. Gonna be like Preston Brown. Gonna try and run it himself. This might be a pure runner quarterback, just like Brown is. 3rd down, very short. Can our defense hold him? And the answer is yes. Another injury timeout as well. Next play here for our offense. The second quarter, not gonna go anywhere. What happened there? I don't know if he just saw that he had a... He must have thought he had a window or something. I don't know. I didn't see one. That was about as instant of a sack as you can have, Ashton Coker. I mean, look at that. He didn't even get blocked. All right, no worries. Just a little second and long here as I think Williams is going to get the catch there, and he does, I think. Yeah, he does. Still third and very long here. Brown throws down the field, caught by Kessel in open field, or in the middle of the field rather, at the 45. So near midfield. Working with a new set of downs here. Going to shift Scott over. And going to try, nope, do a play action fake. And going to be caught on the sideline again by Reese Kessel. He also is having a great game today. 5 catches for 72 yards. Still no score though, but I think they're trying to work on that. Nice bubble screen to Williams, and Williams will get up to the 35. As we're just under 3 minutes now in this first half, and trying to continue this, well, very impressive offensive game we're having so far today. Gonna play action again. Gonna toss it to Kessel, and Kessel unfortunately can't reel it in. All right, now pure runner action here, and he goes nowhere. That was, again, not a great play call. I probably need to go and adjust the playbook between episodes and see exactly which one we're using, and I don't think it's going to work for this offense. So we ended the first half 17 all, or 17 us at least, and now we're trying to get back down the field, and it looks like the defense is going to be helping us again, as nice run there by Miles Mitchell, subbing in for DJ Scott, but here goes Preston Brown again with an incomplete pass. And we do get a touchdown in the end as well. Jacob Kilzer with a 19-yard score. And extra point makes it 24-0. And wow, Kilzer gets another touchdown after a face mask penalty. This team, honestly, I'm not sure where was this the whole rest of the season. If we played like this, we would be, I don't know, we'd have a much better record than 2-6. That's all I'm saying. So we'll hop back in once again here. The score is now very wide, 31-3. I don't know where this offensive performance is coming from, but I mean that, and we just have a good defense all of a sudden, I guess, as well. But we are absolutely not letting these guys do anything today. And that was almost an interception throw. I don't want to see any more of that, please. Of course, now we're at a 3rd and 9 here. Brown gonna get blitzed, and he's gonna be sacked again. I swear, it's every time I come in and watch this guy play, he just all of a sudden starts to act brain dead sometimes. I'm not exactly sure why that is. Suppose we'll try and watch Drew Klein here try and nail a nice 40-some yarder, and he will not. He'll miss it wide to the left. UTEP going to go for it now on 4th down here. And going to get hit as he throws, and it's going to be intercepted by Donovan Wilson. A linebacker who I think it's Donovan Wilson, am I right? Yeah, or Donovan Woolen, excuse me. Donovan Wilson's an NFL player. And that may or may not have just sealed this game as well, as this team has not been able to do anything to us all day. Yeah, there it is. Donovan Woolen, number one linebacker, giving us that pick there. Sets us up real nice. And just like that, DJ Scott gets another rushing touchdown as well. And unless these guys are able to do something crazy. Oh, and there's an interception as well by Najee Nelson. Yeah, sadly, this game is very much out of hand there as DJ Scott gets another touchdown on the ground. So with that, we get our 3rd win of the year and our 2nd win of the video. And Preston Brown finally gets player of the game. 224 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's total touchdowns, as he had 1 rushing at least. In by far our most dominant game yet. And I'm glad it came in season 1, or year 1 rather, of this dynasty, and not, because I was a little worried we weren't going to potentially be able to do anything this year, based on how things were going before this video started. So after that huge win, we've now moved up to 3-6 on the season. And maybe this will convince a couple of recruits to come and commit to us. And we finally do. We get a verbal commit, Taylor Manuel out of Miami, Florida. And not sure exactly how we convinced him to come all the way up here, but hey, I'm not complaining. I'll take it. And now it's our bye week, so we're going to spend a little bit more time on some of this recruiting as well, as we now have a little bit more hours, as we had another guy kind of not commit to us. As here's Tavita Riola, who's very, very close to committing to us. I think he'll commit to us after this week. As he has Status Seeker as his new pitch. And we have a new running back here. Might as well try and offer or find a new running back, as we kind of need one after our other one left us. So it's back to the high school prospect list here, and we got a couple guys here, a couple of them that all of them are open, but let's go after this guy. He's got 85 NIL, but he's from Minnesota, meaning our pipeline's going to work very well for him. Ross Tatum. I don't have enough to scout him, sadly, but we are going to offer him a scholarship at least. So hopefully he sees that we're interested in us, sees that we're close by to his home, and his deal breaker is playing style. So we have what he needs. See if we can try and convince him to come here. Yeah, it looks like we're going to lose Marcel Hilbert after all. Sadly, to Temple. Could not quite get him to commit to us, so that means we're going to have to go find another linebacker as well. Lewis Stammer is already looking very interested in us, probably because we offered him some money. Shamir King, very behind on him so far. He is in his top 5 now. We do know all of his top 5-ness, so I will go and do a soft sell on him, I think. Try and maintain some of that influence. I'm going to send an NIL offer here to George Devlin. Don't know if we're going to be able to even get into his top 5 before he locks us out, but you know what? You don't know unless you try. And with our last 5 hours, I'm also going to offer some NIL to Amari Busby, a cornerback junior transfer from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I'm aware I'm trying to keep as much Dynasty points as possible, but sometimes we got to get some recruits, so that's kind of how I'm going to do it. Just wanted to check back in here on our top player on our team, Griffin Empey, who's been out for several weeks now with a partial PCL tear. He still has about 2 weeks left before he can come back. So he will be back not next week, but the following week. So I just kind of wanted to see. I've been seeing him in practice, but he hasn't been practicing, so I just kind of want us to check in on him again, see how he's doing. Also notice here as well, we can see the official college football playoff bracket in case we want to. Obviously, we're not going to be anywhere near this, but you can see here Iowa State's the lowest school at 5-3, the 12th spot, and they are by far the worst school in this entire bracket. Is you got your likely candidates as Ohio State and Alabama near the top there, as well as Notre Dame. You got some surprises in there as well, like Duke and SMU, especially SMU, but I feel like especially in first season, the current real-life season Sims, SMU has been doing pretty well, so they might have a good team this year. You never know. The other thing we can look at as well is bowl projections, and I don't know if we're going to actually be on this list at all or not. I'm not sure what exactly the lowest record is. It looks like Marshall's in at 4-4, so we'll see if I can exactly find us on here at all. So it does not appear like we are in the line to get a bowl game at the moment. A lot of teams are 4-4 would be on this list. So again, we do have a shot, but it's a very slim chance. I think we have to win all of our rest of our games to get in the bowl game. But like I have said in the past, that honestly isn't really that much of my concern. I mean, it'd be nice if we do make a bowl game this year, but if we don't, that'll be something that we can definitely work towards for next season. So obviously there's that. And it looks like we are also going to get another commit here. Our first 3-star, Eric Turner, a left guard. That'll be a great replacement for Dempey once he unfortunately probably leaves our team after this year, as he is not very happy with the situation. And I think he's also an older player as well. So getting Turner is definitely a big positive. And it looks like Marquise Bredesen decided he did not want to come to North Dakota and decided he wants to so far go to Tulsa. And I think that's more than likely where he's going to be going. But you know what? It's not over yet. It's only a verbal commit, but there's a very good chance, given that 1.3 times multiplier, that he's probably going there and not here. So now up next, we got the 3-6 Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. And it looks like we're going to be at Hawaii as well, so that should be hopefully a very fun game. Potentially, as you can see, we're not scoring very many points per game, and our offense is kind of struggling in some aspects, but defensively, we are actually doing not terrible. We have a better defense than Hawaii. Granted, Hawaii is also 3-6, and they are 3-3 in the conference, as opposed to our measly 2-4. Alright, I decided to sim the game against Hawaii just to see exactly what would happen, since I figured since we were the same record, it might go potentially in our favor, and something must have happened, as we now have a hard commit from Taylor Manuel, and that appears to be the only one as well. And it looks like we did end up winning that game, as we are now 4-6, so let's take a brief look here at the schedule, just to see how badly we beat them. And it looks like it was a great game, 35-21. Quarterback Micah Alajo had a decent game. He actually threw almost 400 yards on our defense, which is pretty unheard of for how we've been playing so far this year. Sacked 3 times, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, so nothing crazy on the surface. And Preston Brown threw for over 200 yards this game. Didn't take any sacks. And DJ Scott, once again, almost getting that 100 yards on the ground. Miles Mitchell getting 2 touchdowns as well, so we have a 1-2 punch going here with Mitchell and Scott. As well as we also got touchdowns from Barry Keepnu. If I said that wrong, I apologize, but he also got a touchdown in there as our third string running back, I believe, and Preston Brown getting one as well. Receiving, of course, was led by Jackson Williams, 7 catches for 79 yards. Jacob Kills are right behind him. Reese Kessel in as well, and Makai Collins. It's kind of the 3 or 4 receivers that seem to be Preston Brown's favorite targets. On the defensive side, Zach Vanderpool, Noah Taylor, and Kelton McKesson and Logan Larson all getting sacks. And we did have an interception. Talon Edie, who had an interception a few games ago. And in fact, I think he had one last episode, so it's been that long for him. But got the ball from the quarterback, obviously, and Noah Taylor getting a few tackles for loss as well. So overall, a fantastic game from our team and a great win for our defense as well. Let's try and put a few more hours here on some of these players, as a lot of them are very close to committing to us, which is very fun to see. We got a top 5 scenario here Tyrone Elkins is now in his top 5, so we now get to hard sell him. Unfortunately, he has the hard sell that has also 2 F letter grades, so hopefully that doesn't really impact him as much. I mean, we are the only team offering him a scholarship at the moment, so we probably should be fine. Eric Turner there still with his commit. So even though Griffin Empey is now back in our lineup, we have another injury on our team, and it's a big one, as it's our starting weak side linebacker, Keith Williams, who has a compound foot fracture, and that means he will be out for the remainder of the season. So really hope that he can, rest the rest of this year. We can recover and hopefully bring him back next season, unless he decides to potentially enter the NFL. He had 46 tackles, 16 of those were assisted tackles, and 7 pass deflections, so no interceptions. And he doesn't really have bad skill caps either. So we have 2 games left here in the regular season now. Our final games are against NIU or Northern Illinois. And our final game, I believe, is against San Jose State. And that's going to be, I think, on the road. Yeah, it will be. So our home finale will be against NIU. And then our last game of the year will be at San Jose State. Unless we happen to make a bowl game, which, like I said, it's a long shot, I think, but we need to win these last 2 games, and we can potentially see that be a reality. So Simmons passed the game against Northern Illinois, and we're going to see if anything happened, and we did. We got Tavita Raiola to verbally commit to us, Another 2-star quarterback to go on the roster. We also get Cortez Veal from Delray Beach, Florida, a defensive tackle. We also get a hard commit on Eric Turner. So I'm hoping that means we did good. But I guess we'll see in just a moment. So we ended up winning the game, and that means we are just one game away from potentially making a bowl game. Let's check out the bowl projections again, see if anything has changed in that respect here. So it doesn't look like we're still in line to make a bowl game. I could have sworn that we were still eligible, even though we had 6 losses, but we got a lot of other schools in here that are trying to make that kind of hard to do here. We got a couple 5-loss schools, so we'll see again what happens at a 6-6 record. But I mean, we obviously know we beat Northern Illinois just now, so we might take their spot in the Fenway Bowl, as they are 6-5. So if they lose their next game, for example, and we win our next game, we might overtake them, which would be kind of cool. Obviously didn't beat UNLV or Wyoming, as they were really good this year, 9-2 and 8-3 so far. Interesting. Fresno State and Sacramento State are both 6-5, so we're very similar in record to them as well. Fortunately, it appears Ross Tatum is not interested in our team now, as our playing style's gone down for running backs. And I don't really have another one option here to add to, except for Sammy Casey here, who was debating on not doing. I didn't even have him scouted or even a scholarship offer on him, but now UTSA looks like they're going after him, as well as the Air Force. And obviously we didn't beat the Air Force last time, so that's probably not a good option for us either. Also did lose out on Terrence Crispin, as he's so far verbally committed to San Diego State. However, part of me feels like we could maybe convince him otherwise if we just use a hard sell and try and get him potentially to convert over to us, or flip rather, since they're not very far away from us in terms of that meter there, as you can see, the influence wise. So he may or may not have just committed to them because of their pipeline tier, but I guess he is from California too, so I guess that makes sense. He's an 86 speed speedster, 6 foot, 6 feet exactly. Also got a hard commit from Bredesen too, so Diego Clark has locked us out. So we are out on edge rushers, unless I get one in from the rest of the portal, or the rest of the prospect list, or the portal. I know this is probably not good from your guys' perspective, but I think I will be skipping this game against San Jose State just because they are 3-9. We have the better record going in. It is on the road, and it's also raining as well, but I'm going to hope that our team can do just good enough to get the win and potentially get us a bowl game. So let's see what happens. So it looks like we did manage to win the game, which I figured we would. So we finished 6-6 on the season. Still got a verbal commit for Crispin in the recruiting here. I did see that someone did, obviously, so Shamir King locked us out. That's a pretty big bummer there. Emmanuel Colombo, a D tackle we were going after for a while, decided to verbally commit to South Alabama. And we're now in a recruiting battle as well for Jaden Jameson with Delaware. So I'm not sure how much more we can do on that. I think I'm going to try and hard sell for him, as well as maybe offer him some NIL because we lost some players. But other than that, I really can't do much else because obviously we're such a small school. So that's basically kind of about all I can really do. Gonna also use up all of the rest of our hours, I think, on Ross Tatum, now that we have his playing style more in exactly what he needs. We did lose out on John Bass, but that's okay. I was only going after one of them anyways. But yeah, Louis Stamer is in his top 5. Unfortunately, I don't have any more hours to try and even recruit for him, unfortunately. I think I'm going to have to let go of Emmanuel Colombo. That's going to give me 20 more hours, and that's going to allow me to actually hard sell Louis Stammer. And I think that's what probably is the best thing for us to do right now. He's a grassroots traditionalist. That is not one I've seen probably ever in one of these games. So sadly, it looks like as well, Reese Kessel now has a broken fibula, so we will be without him as well if we do, in fact, make a bowl game. Which kind of sucks if you're asking me, because I was really hoping that we could potentially use him as an option since Preston Brown that's Kessel's one of his favorite targets to throw to. So, kind of having that, not having that connection is probably going to potentially be a bad thing if we don't get it. So it is Army and Navy week, obviously, but we do have, I see down here, a invite potentially to a bowl game, the Hawaii Bowl against Florida Atlantic, as we are both 6-6, and that might be a fun game to do next episode. Part of the live stream potentially, if there is one. I haven't decided yet, but yeah. So at least we had something good to come out of this season, right? Gonna advance one more time in this episode. I think it's been a pretty long recording session for me, about a couple hours. And we do have, unfortunately, Jaden Jamison does commit to Delaware, so we don't get him. But we stay a C- championship contender. That is awesome. And it looks like Ross Tatum now has us in the top spot for him. He is not in his top 5 yet, so we're not going to worry about that. We are the only offer for him at the moment. And Crispin hasn't moved out of his verbal commit from San Diego State, so he's really trying to go there. However, we are also trying to get Josh Coley as well, because, a 6'4" guy with 82 speed, that's better than a 5'7" guy with 78 speed. I'm just saying. Gonna add a couple of 1-star edge rushers that have us on their board. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna really see, or get to see rather, what their scouting is, as I don't have enough hours. 6'5", pure power here. Denzel Childress. We're 10th on his board. Let's add those guys both to our board here. And I would kind of want to scout him, but I don't know exactly how much I have for scouting ability. Feels like I've been simming for a long time this week, and we do get Cortez Veal, a hard commit. And that's all I think we're going to get, yes. Unfortunately, now we are out of the recruiting time, at least for the high school prospects, until the off season. So it's now conference championship week, and we don't really, obviously we aren't participating, so we can just do a little bit of a practice plan here, and then we'll see. Obviously I've just kind of been doing this the whole time, because we're not being impacted by wear and tear, we're not playing games. But we might as well look at the schools here that are participating in their conference championships. So Conference USA is between Florida International and Delaware. The Pac-12 is between Colorado State and Boise State. I think those are two former Mountain West teams, that's why I had me a little confusion there. And sure enough, UNLV versus Wyoming is the Mountain West Championship. And we lost to both of them. And personally, I really don't have a favoritism here because we lost to both, but I do like Wyoming a little bit more. But that's only because they produced quarterback Josh Allen. So I guess go Cowboys in that sort of sense. It's like Wisconsin made the Big Ten championship. That's impressive, if I'm being honest. Oklahoma and Tennessee, SEC, UAB, and Memphis. Memphis always seems to be doing really well in these dynasties. In this game, I'm not in particular. I'm not sure exactly why, but the Raging Cajuns, James Madison, Ohio, and Western Michigan, and Texas Tech, and Kansas State, along with SMU and Miami. And SMU is the #1 seed, as they went 12-0. So it appears that through the simming and the recruiting, obviously we couldn't do anything last week. George Devlin is hard committed to Cincinnati, and Terrence Crispin has signed with San Diego State. As the other guys we have on our board, we are in a recruiting battle somehow with Northern Illinois. Not sure how that's possible, but it kind of is what it is. But yeah, we lose 2 more prospects, but we do get potentially 3 more, but we'll see. We're also going to, I guess, watch the Heisman Trophy ceremony. I kind of forgot that this was after week 15. I was kind of going to save it for the live stream that we might do in a few days for the next episode for the off season. But yeah, I guess I didn't realize it. But here it is, John Mateer for Oklahoma, one of those guys up for the Heisman this year. Jackson Harris, LSU wide receiver as well. Another contestant, Cam Vaughn, or finalist for the Heisman, wide receiver from Miami. And Kevin Jennings, no surprise there, quarterback from SMU, also up for the Heisman, as has led his team to a 1-0, or a conference, maybe a conference title, I'm not even sure. But we'll see which of these gentlemen gets to take home the Heisman Trophy. And this year's Heisman Trophy winner is John Mateer with 28 passing touchdowns for the amount of touchdowns the other two quarterbacks that were up there had, I'm kind of surprised he got it, if I'm being honest, but that's maybe just me. And just like it predicted, we get our full game appearance in our first season as an FBS program against Florida Atlantic. So I think now that we're in bowl week, I think I'm going to end it here. I know it could keep going on and on and on, but I don't want to keep recording. I'm recording for 2 hours. So I need to chop it up, get it uploaded for you guys to watch. It's going to probably be a longer episode. I apologize for that, but I'm again trying to get the season wrapped up so we can move on to bigger and better things and push out more seasons of this dynasty. So yeah, that's kind of basically where I'm going to leave it. So if you guys did enjoy, make sure you know what to do as always to support the channel. I don't need to tell you twice, but any support obviously is more than welcomed. And yeah, I just appreciate you guys coming out to watch every time you do. So like I said, the next episode will possibly be a live stream wrapping up the season. If not, it'll be a regular episode like this one where we'll do the off season. But I haven't decided yet, so I'll let you guys know in probably a day or a couple days or so, probably a day or so after this is uploaded. But with that all said, that's going to be it from me. Hope you guys did enjoy this episode of NDSU Dynasty. And as always, remember to stay safe, be kind, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.